Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today? How is everyone doing today? Once again, this is Gregory Wilds coming live to you from Houston, Texas with his inspirational morning walk. Man. I was just getting some internet challenges there, so I had to come close to the house. I had to leave my walk and come close to the house so I can get on the Wi-Fi in the house. I don't know what happened. I just couldn't get onto the internet. But I'll still get to do what I need to do, man. I'm going to always find a way to get this little word out, man. For the first time listeners, this is Gregory Walls with his inspirational morning walk. Good morning, Chilean. Good morning. Yes, I usually get some exercise in the mornings and just share my thoughts with you guys, what I'm inspired to talk about that particular day. So yes, it's nice temperatures here. We're mid 40s, so it's good weather to get some walking in. But yeah, internet issues, but I got it. I just got to make sure I stay close to the house here right now. Then I get back to my walk-in. But I hope you New Yorkers, you got great weather there. Y'all get some more snow. It's starting to melt. To see all the lovely pictures on the internet with everyone having fun in the snow. That's a good thing. That's nice. That's nice. We don't get that down here, so we're all fascinated by the kind of stuff there. So that's good. But today, man, I want to get right into it. I got a little thing here to share, and I want to get right into it today. But if you miss anything, you can always go on YouTube if I'm talking something, because I usually follow up on some of the things that we did. And if it does not make sense, sometimes you're listening to it and I reference certain things, you can always go back on YouTube and find what I reference and then take it from there. But yes, today I want to get into something. It's talking about encountering God's process, or trust in God's process, right? Trust in the process. Because some of us might be going through some things right now. We talk about a lot of stuff with the generational curses and the covenants and all of that. But some of us, that's not it. That's not it, right? That's not it. And who these messages for, they'll know it when they hear it. But some of us, that's not it. God got a process that He's taking us through, and He wants you to trust that process, right? He wants you to trust the process. Sometimes He got to break you. Sometimes He got to bring you down low to take you back up high, because He wants to make sure that you understand and you get the message that you need to be dependent on Him. If you're trying to depend on yourself and trying to fix things on your own, and you're trying to, no, He's saying, no, you got to depend on me. I want you to reach to the point where you give it up and you depend on me. Say, God, you know what, this one here I can't fix. I can't fix this one. I need you. I'm nothing without you. He wants to get you to the low point, right? He wants to break you. So sometimes that's what some of us are going through, right? Because a seed must be broken before a plant can come out of it, right? When you plant a seed, the seed got to break open before the plant come out. I remember we said the seed got to go down before it come up, right? It go down in the dirt, then before it come back up, then break open in the dirt, then it come back up and bring a nice plant or a tree or whatever is in that seed. Water must be break before a baby emerges, right? That's the first sign the doctor asks. The water break. Then once the water break, the baby is coming. So a breaking process is coming. A stallion must be broken before the rider can control it. The horse, when they get those wild horses, they got what they call a process where you break them, right? You break the spirit so the trainer can get control of it. That's how you get to put the saddle on the back and the bridle in the mouth. It's a process they got to be called break them, right? Before the process could happen. The seal of a cologne or perfume must be cracked before the aroma emerges, right? You got a nice bottle of cologne, until you crack the seal and stuff, you can't get the nice smells that in it, right? So this is the peanut. You got to break open the peanut shell before you can enjoy the nice nut that's inside, right? In other words, to get the core of a thing, its benefits, a breaking process must occur. So this is what happening to some of us. God got to break us before He can get that control of us. And we know that He's in control of all things, right? You got to get to the process. So that's what's going on with some of us right now. So let's look at a few scriptures, right? Let's look at a few scriptures. And you cannot get a God encounter as long as you're self-reliant. If you think you can do everything and you can fix everything and everything I can do off of my strength, you cannot get the God. He can't work with you. He can't work with you. And He got some stuff for us to do that He need us to know. You got to depend on me, bro, because then got some times when you can't do this stuff and you got to depend on me, right? So let's look at a few scriptures. In John 15:5, he said, yes, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I am them will produce much fruit. But apart from me, you can do nothing. And that's the whole point he wants us to understand. Apart from me, you can do nothing. And he wants us to realize that's why he brings us to a certain point. Saying, apart from me, you can do nothing without me. When you realize that, I can do some business with you. And not till then, I'm going to break you. I'm going to make your situation worse, no matter how much you cry out. If you don't get to that point and realize you can do nothing without me, I'm going to keep putting you down. I'm going to keep, you might be struggling in finances, you might be struggling with a health issue, might be struggling with family issues, might be struggling on your job, whichever area he think you need work in and he need to break you, you're probably struggling in those areas right now, right? So let's look at Psalms 138:6. Though the Lord is great, he cares for the humble, but he keeps his distance from the proud. So if you're too proud and too arrogant and think, I got this done, he keeps his distance from the proud, but he cares for the humble. Once you humble yourself to him, that's when he cares for you. But if you're proud, he stay far away from you, right? Let's look at one more quickly. Psalms 19:71. He said, my suffering was good for me, for it taught me to pay attention to your decrees, right? So the psalmist here is saying, my suffering was good for me. So through the suffering, he pay attention to God's decrees, right? And let's see what 2 Corinthians, Paul was saying in 2 Corinthians 12:7-9. 2 Corinthians 12:7-9. He said, even though, this is Paul talking to the Corinthians in the letter, right? Even though I've received such wonderful revelations from God, so to keep me from becoming proud, I was given a thorn in my flesh. So Paul said he was given a thorn in his flesh, a messenger from Satan to torment me and keep me from becoming proud. So Paul went through one stage and he was so broken. He was fed up. He just going to give up everything. He said, God, I give up, right? And here we say in verse 8, 3 different times I begged the Lord to take it away. So he was going through his struggles, just like what some of us are going through right now. He said, 3 different times I begged the Lord to take it away. Each time he said, my grace is all you need. Right? So you're going through your struggles right now. You're begging God, take this away. When this is going to end? Sherlock Prince, how are you doing, sir? He's saying, when this is going to end? And God's saying each time, my grace is all you need. My grace is all you need, right? My power works best in weakness. God said, my power works best when you're weak. That's when I'm strong, right? So now I'm glad to boast about my weakness so that the power of Christ can work through me, right? So when you struggled, you begging God to take it away. He said, no, I'm doing this. I don't want you to become proud. I want you to know my grace is all you need. My grace is all you need right now through your process. Right? So trust the process you're going through. Trust the process. Let's look at Jacob's story here, right? Jacob, remember Jacob? Let's look at his story and see what goes on with that, right? And remember Jacob quickly. The name Jacob, it means it's like trickery. It's I don't know if you realize that, right? It's all surplant, circum, assail. All this stuff means it's like a trickery. Jacob trying to do things off his own, right? He want to replace stuff. He want to do stuff, overreach. All of that meaning, if you look up the Hebrew word of the mean Jacob, I just give you that because it's going to mean something. So let's look at his story when he wrestled with God quickly. Can you remember Jacob? His life was whole trickery, right? His stuff was ordained. It was ordained for him to rule over his brother and all that, if you go back a little bit in Genesis. It was ordained for all this to happen, but he wants to help the process. You remember his brother came in hungry and he says about to die and asked him for some stew. He was cooking some lentil stew, and then he said, okay, I'll give you some stew, but you got to sell me your birthright, right? You got to sell me your birthright. No, it's always already ordained for him to rule over the younger, rule over the older and all of that, right? But he wants to help the process. So I can sell you. Your brother hungry. Your twin brother, your twin brother, hungry coming, but you want to sell him. I can give you some food, but you got to sell me your firstborn rights. Because back in the days, the firstborn had a lot of rights, right? And then the brother was so hungry, said, what's good is to me if I dead, it's no good. And he sell him and he get the stew, right? And then he went as far as going and trick Colin Roberts. How are you? He went and tricked the brother to get the blessings from the father. Remember, this was ordained that the younger gonna rule over the older. But see, he wants to help the process. He wants to help the process. Hence his name, right? This was his name, trickery. That's what the name in Hebrew Jacob mean, right? So he wants to help the process along. So he tricked the father to get the blessings. And then again, quickly, remember when he went to, you see, God had to threaten his life now. When his brother get upset and want to kill him, God, you don't need to help this process, bro. This was ordained. I ain't gonna find a way to get it done, because remember Joseph's two sons, right? As if you go down, the same thing was ordained there, and the father, see Jacob, he switched his hand to bless his grandchildren. He switched his hands because the right hand is who got the blessings for the firstborn, but he switched it, and Joseph said, no, Dad, because he got blind, right? He said, no, this one, let me switch them back. He said, no, don't switch them back. I know what I'm doing. Right? Maybe that could have happened with Jacob, but he wanted to help the process to trick the father and all that, right? To get the blessing. Then when he went to his uncle Laban, when God was blessing him already, God was blessing him, but then the uncle said, man, you look at so much of livestock and you look like you're stealing my stuff. He said, no, I'm not stealing anything from you. So let's do this now. All the speckled flock, anything with those speckled, those spots, that belong to me, and all the rest belong to you. So you're going to know for sure I'm not stealing anything from you. I'm getting just what, you say you're going to give me. It's just God just multiplying me. So the uncle said, okay, so that's easy. So if you see any flock that is not speckled, it belongs to you. But all the speckled one, and then and I can't remember the full story, but he did something with a mirror when there was mating and caused the most of the animals that he wants, the good looking ones that he wants for his flock. He put this mirror when there was mating, and for some and they come out speckled, right? So he tricked his uncle again to get all the good livestock, right? And God is already blessing him, right? But he want to help God along this process. I want to help you. This, that's his name, right? So let's go into when he wrestled with God here from Genesis 32, 22 through 29, right? Let's look at this. So during the night, Jacob got up and took his two wives. Remember, this is when he went back. God told him, go back to your country. I'm going to bless you there, right? So go back. But then remember his brother, he ran away from his brother because after he tricked his brother wanted to kill him. So when he going back there, he heard his brother coming with 400 men. He said, oh my goodness, he's coming to kill me. Then is when he split up his whole family in two. He split them up. He split up his livestock and everything. So he said, if he come and he attack one set of us, the other half can get away, right? So then he realized, man, I can't do this. When he go to God and say, God, you tell me to come back to my country. You're going to bless me. This is how you blessing me, by sending my brother with 400 men to kill me, God. And then he kind of really surrender to God and said, look, I can't do this without you. I need you. You make this promise to me. No, this is what you're doing to me. And he really went into prayer and then he really surrendered to God. So let's pick it up from here now, right? So during the night, this is Genesis 32, 22 through 29. So during the night, Jacob got up, took his two wives, his two servant wives, and his 11 sons, and crossed the Jabbok River with them. After taking them to the other side, he sent over all his possessions. So all his possessions go over the river. He crossed the river. Then Jacob, all alone in the camp, and he left all alone in the camp. He left by himself in the camp now. And a man came and wrestled with him until the dawn began to break. So this man come and wrestle with him, right? This man come and wrestle with him. And he wrestling. It's a wrestling match, right? Wrestling's a lot of energy going on in there. Y'all wrestling around. When the man saw that he would not win the match, he touched Jacob's hip and wrenched it out of socket. Guys, there's some spiritual stuff going on here. It's not only a physical match, right? God was wrestling with him to change him. You got to change from these ways, bro, and realize you need to depend on me and stop trying to help me along. Stop trying to help this process. That's what the wrestling was about spiritually, right? He was wrestling. But when this man realized, you know what? I'm not going to change this man's mind. This man's so bent with the same trickery, and he can continue to go around with this trickery. So let me help this process now to weaken him further. And that's when he touched his hip and wrenched just with his finger, right? And he touched his hip. Let me read that. The man saw that he would not win the match. He touched Jacob's hip and wrenched it out of socket. So he just touched his hip. Because if you wrestle, remember your hip, you need your hip to do everything. So if you wrench a man's hip out of socket, that's going to weaken him, right? He can't do nothing. He can't stand. People with hip problems know what I'm talking about. You can't hip. That's part of your core. And if your hip is wrenched out of socket, there's not much more you can do physically and move around, right? So this man had to do that to him to weaken him further so he can win this match, so to speak. Then the man said, let me go, for dawn is breaking, right? So this is spiritual stuff going on here during this physical match. But when Jacob realized what he's wrestling with, who he's wrestling with, because if this man could just touch my socket with his hand and wrench it out the socket, this is not no fight I can win. This is not no fight that can win me. This person could kill me at any time. They're just obliging me by wrestling with me. But if they got this power just to touch my socket with his finger, touch my hip and wrench it out the socket, this is not no ordinary man I'm wrestling with. You get the message then. He got the message. He realized this is a fight I can't win. This man could take me out at any point in time. So then he got the message just when he said, but Jacob said, I will not let you go until you bless me. Then he realized who he's wrestling with. He realized and he said, you know what? I give up, God. I want your blessings. I will not let you go until you bless me, right? And then here the man asks him, what is your name? The man asks. Guys, this is not a significance. Just ask him, what's your name? And I say, Gregory. You remember what I tell you Jacob name means, right? Jacob name means is trickery, is all of the stuff Jacob name means, right? So when the man asks him, what is your name? So he kindly give up now. He realizes who he's wrestling with. And he asks him, God bless me. I'm not letting you go until you bless me. Right? So he broken now. He broken. He realized this is a more powerful than me. I need to stop wrestling. I need to just give it up. The man asked him, what is his name? He replied, Jacob. The reply, what he replied with his name, Jacob. He's saying, I'm a trickster. I'm tricking people. That's how my whole life is. He admitting that he is a trickster by saying his name. That's why the man asked him his name. This is spiritual stuff. It's him to confess. You are a trickster. You need to give up this life of trickery and depend on me, because I got your back. I got a plan for you. All this stuff is ordained. You trying to help this process. Relax, let go, and let God. Let me. That's why he asked him his name. When he quickly replied, you see, he quickly replied. He didn't stutter, he didn't stammer, he quickly replied. So I mean, at this point, no, he's broken. He confessed, I'm a trickery, and I can give up this life of trickery. That's the significance of asking him, what is your name? God knows his name. God knows his name. He wants you to know what's your name. I know what you're doing, guys. I know what you guys are doing. I want you to confess it. It's not for me. It's for you to confess it so I can help you. In other words, that's why you asked him that name there. That's the significance of asking him his name. And then hear what he said. Your name is no longer Jacob, the man told him. From now on, you will be called Israel. So now Israel got a new meaning. Is God contender, wrestle with God, triumph with God. That's what Israel means. So you see, sometimes God got to change our names. He got to change our names for us to go on and do what he wants us to do, right? So the man changed his name, right? He said, from now on, you will be called Israel, because you fought with God and with men and have won. And here with Jacob, here now, you want confirmation, right? You want confirmation. You know the power. You know who he's speaking with. Then, please tell me your name, Jacob said. I just imagine God laughing. Right? And then here God said. The Bible didn't say he laughed, but you can tell he probably had a smile on his face. He said, why do you want to know my name? The man replied. Then he blessed Jacob there. Why do you want to know my name? You know who I am. You asking me to bless you and all of that. And you still want to know my name? You're still questioning who I am? Not in so many words. He probably smoked. Why you want to know my name? You know who it is already, right? So sometimes God got to change our name, guys, because our name, right, is tied to our education. We think because of our education I'm getting and I'm doing all this. Our history, right? Our history. Then our relationships, because the people you're associating with could help us and all of that kind of stuff. So you think, I don't need God. I'm good. My relationships. And all kind of other things our name associate with, right? But not until our character is rooted in God's sufficiency alone, he will change your name. You got to change your name, just like how we had to change Jacob's name. Right? That name change meaning you turning from all of this stuff that you're depending on and just depending on him, right? So that's what sometimes the struggles that we're going through in life right now, we don't understand it, right? Difficulties teach us dependency. When we're going through some situation that we cannot fix, right? We just got to depend on him now. And that's where you want us to know you cannot do nothing by yourself. Remember Philippians 4:13 said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. He who gave us the strength, and he want to get us to that stage. So we know we got to depend on him. So I'm going to finish. Remember, I'm going to finish up here now. But remember, like a piggy bank, back in the days, you're growing up, you got your little piggy bank, you want to save up your money for Christmas or whatever occasion. The piggy bank got a little slit at the top of it. You throw your money inside and you fold up your little dollar bills, your coins, and you throw it inside there. And the piggy bank design that is not, your money can't come out easily, right? Because the whole goal is for you to save, right? And then Christmas come or your birthday come or whatever the occasion come, you need this little money now. And you turn the piggy bank. Remember, you got to shake the piggy bank to get the coins out so you can find the slit and come out. And you're shaking and you're shaking and you're shaking. Sometimes you have to shake really hard, right? But it's not because you're upset with the piggy bank. You're not upset with the piggy bank. You just want what's inside the piggy bank, what's yours, what you put in there. So you're shaking the piggy bank, you're shaking it, then you got a couple more coins left, and you know it's not coming out. And then you got to take your hammer, right? And you smash that piggy bank. You're not mad at the piggy bank. You just want what's inside, what's rightfully yours, what you put in there, right? So that's what happened during the process when God putting us through this. Is like the piggy bank. He is shaking us through the hard time we're going through. He's shaking us. But the longer you take to conform and realize that you got to depend on him, he can continue to shake you. And then when there's little bit left in you that he put in you that he need you to get out to do what he need to do, then he might got to break you further because you don't want to take the shaking, right? And he got to break you further. So I can finish up with a little thing from Tony Evans' book here. I can read what he said about this process. It's Tony Evans' book. It's called Kingdom Encounters, right? He said, God will shake us to bring out the spiritual treasures that the Holy Spirit is planted in us to come out. He will allow things to get unsteady or situations to become challenging. But if you or I won't respond to the shaking at the level he desires, he may have to break us as well. The question is, do you want to have to wrestle all night long to have your hip dislocated before you surrender? Or will you come before the living Lord and surrender to him right now? Lay your will at his feet. Let your control be relinquished into his control. Honor his will before your own desires. When you do, you will encounter his love, purpose, and blessings in a powerful way. Remember, brokenness is pain with a purpose. Good morning, Tessa. Brokenness is pain with a purpose, guys. So if you're broken right now, you're in the situation you're in, and you're begging God to take it away like Paul, and God say, no, my grace is all you need. Understand, it's not that he's working against you, it's not the enemy working against you, it's God trying to get you to a place where he needs you, because he got some things for you to do, and you got to depend on him to be successful, and not on your own strength, and not on your friends, and not on your history. No, you got to depend on him. So brokenness is pain with a purpose, guys. Have a great day, and we'll talk again. Today's what when we talk again on Friday. Okay, bye.